Bonjour, Odeo Gitchida Indigenous Cause. My name is Heart Warrior, and today I want to share a letter. I was going to give a whole different talk, but I happened to see this video quite by chance of Attorney General Barr giving a talk to, and I just saw this morning, a talk to the Federalist Society Convention, which is a talk to National Lawyers Association. Anyway, so I thought his talk was really interesting, and it kind of fits in with a letter that I just mailed out, and so I can see by my letter that I wasn't in conflict with anything that he had said. And but I thought his talk was really informative about the three branches of government that we have: the executive, the legislature, and the judicial. So anyway, we'll talk about a little bit about what he said, but first I want to share the letter with you, because I sent this letter off to Mitch McConnell in the Senate, with copies sent to President Trump, Devin Nunes, and Jim Jordan. Okay, it's an open letter to Mitch McConnell. Dear Sir, please keep in mind and heart that the reason you do not see conservatives or Trump supporters tromping your hallways is because they hold down jobs. And the reason I put that in the letter is because I saw another video of a conservative walking in the halls of Congress, interviewing people, going to Democrat places and trying to talk to people. But of course he wasn't successful, but he would run into people here and there. Anyhow, so it's quite common that Democrats and errant liberals are running around in the hallways there attacking Republicans and attacking conservatives. But there's no conservatives running around in the halls attacking Democrats. So that's why I said this to Mitch McConnell, that the reason you're not seeing any conservatives or Trump supporters running around in the hallways in Congress is because they work. They're holding down jobs. Anyhow, so I go on. Like the snapping turtle, eagle of water, with a powerful neck, jaws, beak as sharp as an eagle's, and legs that can easily lift its shell off the ground to run or jump high, and he can easily snap in half a man's leg. Please, 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 ream the Democrats a new one. Here I'm talking about Nancy Pelosi and Schiff. Shut down the fake impeachment. Dismiss as out of hand, out of procedure. Tell the House no one is buying into the abusive attack on President Trump or on the public who elected him. Team up with those who have shown strong support in the House, like Devin Nunes and Jim Jordan and others. We who support and love our president will no longer hold still while phobic Democrats and mainstream media roll over the United States Constitution and our rights to hear the truth and fail to protect our southern border. No border, no sovereign nation. We will no longer tolerate abuse of the rule of law and proper procedure by the courts or Congress Democrats, socialists, and those who are compromised. We will no longer tolerate the unrelenting attacks based on lies. You must take a stand. We do not want a banana republic. We do not want socialism. We do not want globalism. Should you fail us, it means war. Judith A. Chosa, Ojibwe Nation, USA citizen. Okay, so that was the letter that I'd sent off and sent copies out. And then I ran into this video this morning, which was a complete surprise, and a pleasant surprise, I have to say. And Attorney General Barr was invited to give a speak at this convention, Federalist Society Convention of National Lawyers. Anyway, so he follows the Constitution as it's written. So he has a constitutional approach to executive power. Past encroachment on these executive powers. there has been encroachment on them, as we see going on right now. Okay, in 1689, monarchs were neutered. This is in old Europe. And patriots understood during the Revolution, and that was in the 1700s, that legislative power over the executive was undesirable, and that they must be, executive leadership, especially in times of war, must be able to be clear, concise, and unstrung by anything else. The three branches of government were to be equal in power, and that the legislative must not overpower the executive. So he talked about that, a good history of the three branches of government, especially the executive, which is under attack now by the judicial branch and the legislative branch. And they've been under attack since the mid-60s. And you remember the mid-60s, that's when youth rose up and were protesting, and that's when the drug war happened, when they used drugs to make war on youth. And in every college neighborhood, overnight, drugs showed up. Marijuana being the leading drug that led them into heavier stuff. And then the LSD produced by Timothy Leary, who worked for the government. So this was a deliberate war on youth. And we see it carrying on today. Everybody's so drugged up. All of these homeless people in San Francisco and LA are on drugs. And putting them in a house, and all this isn't going to matter. They're so wiped out from drugs that they don't even care. Anyhow, so this has been going on, and this all needs to be straightened out. And this is why Trump is in there. He's in there to drain the swamp of all these people that have sold out socialism, globalism, and big business. Okay. Of course, Barr didn't say that like that. He's mainly talking about from the perspective of the three branches of government. And he said that the most dangerous branch is the legislative powers. And the executive was meant to be able to check some of the legislative powers through the veto right. If you look at the Constitution, you'll be able to see what powers were given to each of the three branches. And they were to be equal, but they have different duties to perform. Well, in every way, they've been blocking the duties of the president. And here in my notes, I show he was talking about, what the heck is it now? Okay. To set up his executive council, he needs to appoint people to fill certain positions. And so the Senate is misusing their power to block everything he's trying to do. And for example, he said, Obama in 4 years only had 8 nominees blocked. Bush had 4 blocks during the first year. Trump has experienced 236 blocks to his nominees. So what they're doing is they're pretty much at every turn trying to block the effectiveness of the executive branch. So they're really putting us at risk. Now, one of the three things that the executive branch can do and is supposed to do according to our Constitution is he is the commander-in-chief in times of war. He's the commander-in-chief for the military. He is the one that interacts with foreign countries and settles disputes. That's his job. And it's supposed to be able to be done swiftly, concisely, and timely, and with privacy, secrecy. All three branches, their papers, their communications are not read out to the public. You know, they have to be able to do their jobs without having hysterical leftists screaming at him over this, that, and the other thing that they don't understand. So they have to be able to do their jobs. So one of the other responsibilities of the president is to deal with in foreign relations. And then another one of his duties is to act in national emergencies, like, say, if there was a big hurricane like Hurricane Katrina, or there was the plague or something that was affecting the entire nation. He has to be able to act swiftly. So we see that the errant Democrats and the hysterical leftists are trying to interfere with Trump in areas that are his preview and nobody else's. Anyway, I would suggest that people try to watch that video. That it was videoed, the whole speech that Barr gave to the Federalist Society. And that was on November 15th, 2019, that he gave this talk. And it was really, really informative. It was good. It brought you a really good understanding of the three branches of government, especially the executive, and things that have been going on. And so I would recommend, I saw this on YouTube, Attorney General Barr speaking to the Federalist Society. I'd suggest that you look that up if you're at all interested. So this wasn't what I was going to talk about, but that's what it ended up to be. Today we had a lot of snowfall, and so we had to dig out. We had a hard time digging out today. And that's all for today. Thanks for listening to me.